former president, we know, is pouting. He's very upset. There's reports he's blaming Dr. Oz, his wife for Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania. I mean, he will blame anybody but himself. It is never, never a moment of self-reflection.
Yeah, and that's vintage Trump. That's nothing new. But what I do think is interesting is he's already wanting to get into the Herschel Walker runoff before it's even happened. So he's got a fundraiser out, a number of them today, where it's saying give to Herschel Walker. But you read the fine print, 9/10 of it goes to Donald Trump. He's still doing the same grift that he always has under the guise of I'm trying to help fight for the Senate. But he's in a moment right now, which those who've covered him know this, when he's isolated, when he feels defeated, when he feels weakened, he's in his most vulnerable place. People don't want to be around him. Advisors don't want to tell him the truth. They tend to sidestep him and let him just kind of stew. And that's when he gets reckless.
Pointing fingers at one another, with GOP lawmakers in both the House and the Senate criticizing their leadership for failing to meet expectations. Just as former President Trump teases a special announcement next week. Here with me now, a Republican governor who's led a blue state, Maryland, since 2015, Larry Hogan. Governor, thank you so much for joining me.
Good morning.
You've kind of been on an island, maybe a few others are with you, as a Republican warning against GOP extremism and specifically election denialism. How do you interpret the results?
Well, yeah, I've been talking about this for years, and it seemed as if I was the only one talking about it, but today there are a whole lot more people talking about it. And the way I would interpret it, look, this should have been a huge red wave. It should have been one of the biggest red waves we've ever had because, you know, the President Biden's approval rating was so low, one of the lowest historically. More than 70% of the people thought the country was going in the wrong direction, and yet we still didn't perform. And I think common sense conservatives that focused on talking about issues people cared about, like the economy and crime and education, they did win. But people who tried to relitigate the 2020 election and focused on conspiracy theories and talked about things the voters didn't care about, they were almost universally rejected. And I think it's basically the third election in a row that Donald Trump has cost us the race. And it's like, 3 strikes, you're out.
In October of 2016.
I respectfully ask you, with all due respect, to step aside. Step down.
It's sad, really, but I can't endorse Donald Trump for president after those comments and the way he said them.
We know what happened there. Then there was January 6th and the violent insurrection on the U.S. Capitol.
All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough.
The president bears responsibility for Wednesday's attack on Congress by mob rioters.
All right, so is this time different? Well, some Republicans swear it is.
This is a time that Donald Trump is no doubt in the rearview mirror, and it's time to move on with the party.
Moving in a different direction as we move forward is a good thing.
The voters have spoken, and they have said that they want a different leader. And a true leader understands when they have become a liability